a bit of a tricky position. But we moved to defense. And as you can see, the defense, judging by the time bank, is a lot longer. It's also important to note that we should be feeling confident at this point, because the enemy team is busy airing their dirty laundry in all chat, apparently. So, we got some desktop there from someone. So it looks like the Widow called out the enemy Winston. The enemy Winston has decided to engage that. I did it because we have a gold who was trolling us. Lol, you are the most troll. And it looks like the enemy team has engaged your team in a healthy game of whose fault is it, apparently. My advice is pretty simple, by the way. If the enemy team is talking shit, don't bother responding to it. Don't bother acknowledging it. Like, it's kind of dumb to do so. Ladies and gents, the Overwatch community. I kind of agree with Lord Ivis Grey. Oh, Overwatch community, I do wish you were a bit lovelier at times. What's funny to me, and it looks like this guy is either warming up on the enemy, on the allied Widow, or just, I don't know, stuff, but the Widow's doing well, but I will also highlight this. If you are playing Widowmaker as a Widowmaker main in Platinum, like low Diamond, Platinum, low Platinum, and you are getting a lot of headshots, no shit Sherlock, congratulations, you are moderately competent, but your dick is really not that big, come back again when you're doing it in fucking Masters and Grandmasters, then you got a dick. There we go. I always get baffled when people go on ego, like, a little bit of ego doesn't hurt, okay? A little bit of ego, a little bit of pride in what you can do doesn't hurt. But when you're busy shit-talking the enemy team and you are in Platinum, even though the enemy team is also in Platinum, it's just ridiculous to me. It is just ridiculous to me. I don't know. Let's talk about our positioning. This is moderately greedy. We're lucky that, you know, our Widow is better than their Widow, which is always a nice advantage. If our Widow did go down, then we would have problems. I don't mind us being here, though, if Widow is going to start here, because we can basically act as peel for Widowmaker, and we are extremely effective peel for Widowmaker. It looks like, by the way, the guy that was being shit-talked to has decided to pick Widowmaker and try to out-Widow what is probably a Widowmaker main. You can see what we can do here basically is punish people who are trying to dive our Widow, and that's probably where we're going to excel. And even if they dive Widow, we can self-peel. Like, Widow doesn't self-peel, but she can evade and then sort of help kill stuff quite effectively. Thank you, by the way, Seamus987. Great to have you on board. I'm assuming that's Seamus and not CMAS. It could be CMAS, who knows. This is some good shooting coming out of us, though. It's very nice to see. This, though, is greedy as fuck. And throwy as fuck. And this actually makes me think, by the way, what's about to happen, that this might be pre-patch. It might not be. But it might be pre-patch. And we even acknowledge that this is greedy and stupid. We shouldn't be doing this. Even if, like... Let's say a good thing happens here and we get the kill on the Roadhog. Even then, the chances of us dying are so high here because we are a McCree without a flashbang and only have combat roll. As such, our self-peel is now completely shot to pieces. Chances are pretty high that we die doing this. Us dying is so bad. Is pre-patch damage done? Ah, yeah, okay. But what that means is that our peel on the Widowmaker has now gone away, so the enemy team should be that much more effective at diving. We are basically a big chunk of our team's damage. So as you can see, now the Widow gets dived, there's no peel available for her. They start jumping onto the Orisa as well. Again, that sort of pressure that McCree can exert has now faded away, so the enemy team can sort of be opportunistic. Luckily, we just move in. We don't even seem too worried about sort of damage. I'd say that if you are going to stand still, take a step or two back just so we're out of line of sight of anything still coming in. This honestly wouldn't be too bad of a position to Deadeye. The reason why I say that is we have good vision of the point. I'd say that the thing we're most concerned about is this Roadhog. Let's keep an eye on him. So we kill him. Now that the Roadhog is gone, taking a step back and just pressing Deadeye means that we've just seen this Mercy sort of pull over here as well, so her Guardian Angel's on cooldown, especially now post-patch. Deadeye, I think, would definitely be the right option here rather than just trying to go for the kills. This barrier is cracked as hell, so 1 or 2 hits will kill it. You know, Reinhardt has to just knock it, D.Va has to just knock it, anything can just sort of flick this bubble out of the way. And people might even run towards this bubble thinking it's safety, which is also nice for us. This is a complete trap for the enemy team, so we can get a couple of kills. And it will basically completely end this fight. Like, there's nothing the enemy team could do to stop us. Even the Sombra would struggle, and us just staying in there would have just scooped up, bang, 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 easy kills. There's no reason to me not to Deadeye in that position. Except maybe just complete greed. Just thinking we can get away with not using it. Deadeye is very good at just cleaning up fights on a point, especially when the enemy team isn't surrounding you or isn't anywhere near you. If they're trying to react to other threats, Deadeye will just clear them all up. So that's a bit of a shame. But their D.Va, even if D.Va puts the defense matrix up, you can wait out defense matrixes with Deadeye. You would be causing enough problems as well. If it's there, like, I couldn't tell if that was the enemy or ally D.Va, but if it's, even if it's the enemy D.Va, defense matrix goes up, you stay inside the doorway and hang back a little bit. If the Reinhardt puts his barrier up, then you're still getting a lot of damage done. D.Va's defense matrix is probably mostly burnt out anyway, because there's been a team fight on the point. You can wait out whatever she's got left, land your shots through, get a couple of kills. It's much more worthwhile than just trying to fight, basically. Like, and even if she eats all the shots, then you probably pulled enough pressure where your team can start doing even more stuff. Like, Deadeye to me is not an ultimate which is worth holding on to in this situation, where you have a situation where you can get a lot of value off the back of it, basically. That's Roadhog. Important to know that any one-on-one versus a Roadhog, that can happen. I think even post-patch, if you could put it on your head, that can probably still fucking happen, so... Less likely to happen, but it can still happen. I like the patience here. I think it would have been worth rolling and flashing that. We get the Mercy, it's good enough. We probably would have got 1 or 2 kills more post-patch as well, which is sort of a nice piece of knowledge. They do have a Sombra, so we do have to sort of be a little bit careful about that. I wouldn't mind seeing a flashbang, roll, and probably another right click coming out of that, but hey, you notice that now the fight's so scattered, especially because D.Va's rocketed off that way, and just getting the Mercy is perfectly fine. Because now they are just done like dinner. If the Sombra EMPs, then it's even more value, but nope, we just clean up. Feels good, man. Let's try and reset. So we should probably be trying to reset. Looks like we're instead opting to go right on the point. Because we've got sights, we know we can get away with doing this, so I'm fine with us being that a little bit more aggressive. I don't know what that Mercy was even thinking. What is this D.Va doing? What was that? What was that? I'm trying to figure out what this enemy team is doing. It's... D.Va runs somewhere. I guess they were planning to just run all the way around this way? That was the plan, and then D.Va rockets through, doesn't cover the rest of her team going through. There's Widowmaker with a fucking, you know, like ducks in a row shooting gallery going on. Nothing stopping anything happening. We can see exactly where they all are. Widowmaker's positioned up, like, up here since, gets an easy kill on the D.Va, and then what is she even hoping would happen? I don't understand that one. Assume a misclick. It looks like she intentionally parked herself there. I don't know. A little bit unfortunate. Just want to check something. So yeah, flashbang is up here. Like, just flashing the Mercy would have been perfectly fine. Like, just throwing your flashbang into this. It's not only about you, where we can stun the Winston, but would also stun the Mercy, and that just keeps everyone still and keeps everyone locked into this fight that little bit longer, which might have just been enough to get that value on that. Target priority, of course, she'd just gone the Mercy. I know it's easy to miss things in a big clusterfucky team fight, but hey, the Mercy's just stood right there. She does get the res. Honestly, I don't think you'd be remiss just following the Mercy here as well. Like, we have a combat role, we should be using it. So Winston's chasing. We can also probably afford to just combat roll. Keep on the back of this Mercy, and then just flashbang the second she comes out of invulnerability. Clean that up, and then come back to the fight. Winston alone will struggle to kill her in good time. We can make that a lot easier. Winston ults. Does a good job. Their team's starting to clean up now. Now it's a little bit scary. Now they've made a game of it.
Next push, I'll get it.
Just plat things, more like just D.Va things? Probably just D.Va things. There is a temptation with D.Va ult just to press the button and see what happens. Try and kill that temptation as much as you can. This is us getting very greedy as well. Right. We are so lucky this Roadhog doesn't know how to judge distance. He's only got one eye, bless him. You see he's wearing an eye patch. Because if he landed that, our team would be fucked.
What the heck? I freaking healed Zen. My bad, Widow.
So it looks like we're trying to set up for a Deadeye, but notice that during all this time, the enemy team should just be killing the shit out of our team. And he's kind of doing so. We are spending a long time to do not much. We should not be here. This is a bad idea. This is trying to get play of the game. You notice our entire team is dead while this has happened? This is sort of the first really bad decision I've seen us make all game. Like, this to me is... So, let's talk about combat effectiveness. And how to be effective in combat. Because us running this way would be fine if Widowmaker, for example, was on that high ground, then we can go up there and we can act as peel for Widow, and Widow can just sort of take her time picking targets off. But Widowmaker's still sort of in the spawn because the Winston's got a hate boner for her, and so he's going to dive her every single time. The second that happened, you've got to realize that your team now has 0 damage. So you've got to think like, okay, where is the damage on our team? Well, you have a Zenyatta and you have a D.Va or a Reinhardt, I think, is what we've got over on the point. But otherwise, there's just nothing. And compared to the Roadhog that we know is there, the Winston that we know is there, and their entire fucking team, there's just nothing to stop them slowly whittling down our team. Like, if Sombra EMP'd now, you guys would be fucked. We can actually get a look at the team lineup. So I checks it very quickly. There we go. So yeah, let's think about the DPS that's currently in the fight. We have a Winston, we have a Mercy, we have a Zenyatta, and we have a Reinhardt. Against a D.Va, Winston, Sombra, Roadhog, and then 2 supports. Like, this is not a good fight for your team anymore. If you were there, then maybe it's a slightly better fight. There is no way in hell that this Deadeye is working. There's no way in hell that this Deadeye is going before at least half your team dies, no matter what happens. Like, these elevators are so fucking garbage on this map, and so rage-inducing that wasting time trying to use them during a fight, you are basically dead during this time. Like, this is the bottom line. You are dead right now. You are still kind of dead because McCree's damage at mid-range and trying to shoot down this barrier is going to take you all fucking day. The barrier just fades out over time. Total net impact is pretty much 0. Shoot D.Va in the back about 3 times, but she doesn't take any damage. And then we mildly irritate the Winston, who then dives us and we just instantly die. So we literally died. Well, we didn't literally die, but we effectively died. Not quite yet, not quite yet. We're having impact. We're pulling the Roadhog around. We've managed to use the hook. We're dealing damage. We're dealing effective damage. Like, why not just chase down that guy and kill that guy? There's a Roadhog with no hook getting on half health getting chased by a Winston. We have flashbang, we have combat roll. We can kill that. You could have even wrapped around the other doorway and just come in and killed the Roadhog from that way. Deleting Roadhog will be huge for this fight because you've got 2 tanks. Suddenly, it makes a huge difference. Instead of coming up here thinking, I'm going to get a huge Deadeye. It's never going to happen. Deadeye doesn't work like that. And if it does work like that, the rating you're at, then eventually it's going to stop working because people are going to wise up. It only takes the D.Va looking in your direction. It only takes the Winston positioning right. It only takes them just ducking behind cover for it to not work. And it just takes one person on the payload still being alive for them to take the point. Really bad idea. We should have just been fighting. Now we're sort of in the position that we were in before. We just sort of want to be scrambling. This is good job by the Zenyatta, good job by everyone. You got Meditation X back on the Reaper. Looks like he swapped off the Winston. And yeah, the Reaper's just going to shut down the Winston every single time. Especially post-patch. Winston Reaper now super favored for the Reaper. I'm fine with us being up here for now. We should definitely flash this. Like the second the over-aim came in, that to me was an instinct of, okay, we should flash this. So we sort of anticipate our aim at the, where the translocator is going. The second that you see that you've got the over-aim, that will be a good opportunity to just turn and put the, like, just to buy yourself a little bit of time. Because when she's moving like this, she's leapt in, she's moved here, and then she's sort of landed more like this way. Where she lands and instantly comes in. Just flashing and right-clicking this is perfectly fine. Do not let this live, and do not let this get into your backline. Because if it does, you guys are fucked. Like, it's ridiculously powerful. We're lucky that the D.Va has a fault with a Q button where it seems to press every single time the ultimate is up, because if they time self-destruct and EMP, your team is completely screwed. Luckily we get lucky. Maybe our push on the Sombra scared her to the point where she's decided to use EMP without having Zenyatta in her sights, but Zenyatta just trances, and we should be a-okay. She did manage to get the Reinhardt, but everyone's already dead. Feels good, man. We were very lucky then that the enemy team fucked up, and we're even luckier in that the enemy team continues to fuck up and Mercy solo res D.Va. It's good positioning by the, well, it's a good job by the Roadhog just to take ground, basically. And it looks like the Roadhog is continuing to abuse the ground that he's taken. The problem with the Roadhog being up there is that he just isn't going to exert much forward pressure, and the enemy team is still so scattered that you should be able to hunt down this Roadhog. We want to be very careful. We should follow this Reaper, give him some support. Good, man. Good, 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 good. No, we should finish this up. I don't agree with this decision to come this way, to be honest. Like, you've pulled your Mercy into danger. We're lucky that the Pharah's not paying attention. This would be even stronger with post-buff. Kind of works out, but still, I'm not 100% on this. What would I have liked? So, we're a little bit scared, but you notice that they're focused on this, and we do the right thing. We just start plugging shots into the back of this. First and foremost, we can do better than that shot. I can't tell you to aim better. We get scared of the D.Va, but we shouldn't be scared of the D.Va. We still have flashbang. So if the D.Va tries to engage us, we can just flash and headshot her. Or even flash right click if you're not feeling confident on that. Like, we could have gotten rid of that, and then we're not coming around here to where, like, the Mercy's trying to heal us, and our supports were literally just down and under us. We could have just dropped down, picked up some healing from the point, be nice and safe. When we're coming out here, we're actually less safe. And we sort of luck out that, I'm guessing they didn't communicate that there's a Mercy on 25, well, 30 hit points back here, because their Pharah is still up. This Pharah should have bounced back a little bit and just shot rockets right here and just killed us. We go for this. Get the Mercy. Feels good, man. That's value. But honestly, with the D.Va dead, we could have probably just done that on the front as well and still got a lot of value off the back of it, just because we have a Reinhardt in front of us to block stuff.
Please die on cart. I have a res coming up.
Oh shit. Your car's coming up quick.
Oh shit. Yeah, you guys don't really have time, I think. We got a game of this. And we picked Hanzo. We picked the Hanjo. Luckily people do manage to get out there in time. D.Va decides to feed. Still has that faulty Q button. She is literally staggering herself even longer. Like, it's amazing. Nice shooting. I'm gonna just point out, like, why is this D.Va throwing the game? Why is this D.Va throwing the game? So this D.Va is throwing the game because, okay. So first things first, I think Mercy throws. And then I think D.Va has the misguided thought that... No, I'm thinking of a different instance. This isn't even Mercy throwing. This is just D.Va going fucking nuts and panicking. There's still a minute left on the clock. There's 6 people still on the point. D.Va engages 1 versus 6. Chat! If you engage 1 versus 6, who wins? The 6 or the 1? Don't answer that, it's not a serious question. We all know it's the 1 because they're that fucking pro. This D.Va's gonna come in, she's gonna blow Reaper's head off, she's gonna turn, take the machine guns down, boom, 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 take out the Zenyatta, turn around, smack Mercy, take her out, and then dive onto Widow, crush her into the ground, drive over her, no problem, then kill Hanzo and shove an arrow up his ass, no problem. Then Reinhardt's just gonna run and crap himself in the corner, apparently. That's how it's gonna work. There we go. 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1. And yeah, she's got ultimate as well, so when the Reinhardt cowers, then she's going to send the bomb over there and blow Reinhardt away. It's going to be fucking amazing. Play of the game. Top on Reddit. No, it's not. That's not how Overwatch works. It's something that people lament a lot in Overwatch, but 1 versus 6 is a next to impossible. And yeah. So D.Va goes in, dies, ults to come back, dies again, and basically buys your team about 30 seconds where there's just going to be no D.Va when they're pushing into 2 snipers and they have no barriers anymore. So and then you are totally free. You and Widow are completely free to snipe at whatever you should choose. You have infinite vision, you have a Zenyatta just denoting targets, and yeah. Yeah. Enemy team has 1 more push. That's a good start for them. It's a bad start for them, although they're still getting results. You know, they're just engaging pretty hard on. Honestly, we should still be McCree at this point and probably be doing a little bit more. Good shadow from the Reinhardt, manages to get value out of that. And then this should just be an easy cleanup. An easy win. Mercy's coming in. Manages to get a pretty big res. That's pretty juicy. Probably too little too late though. There's still 6 people on the point, so... And one of them's a Reaper. Reaper's gonna have fun with this. Spoiler.
Fuck that shit. Good game, guys.
I mean, his aim is on point, so good on him, but I still find the switch meh. I find the switch meh as well. I think McCree was perfectly fine in that situation. I don't think Hanzo especially gives us any advantages. And could have thrown. I've seen extremely good Hanzo players miss shots that they should be hitting, would be hitting if they're playing hit scan. So I don't think there is any advantage to swapping to the Hanzo at this point, especially against a team with the D.Va. If they still had the Winston, we would have even more problems. We just majorly lucked out on this D.Va completely throwing this final push. Like, this is a game-losing decision by the D.Va. And if you're ever watching out there, JVBH792, maybe when you were doing this, you probably realized afterwards, man, that was really bad. But, you know, they say if you can't be an example, serve as a warning. We're serving as a warning here. Good on you, JVBH. Good on you demonstrating what not to do in this situation, which is panic, waste your ultimate, and then stall yourself out for the maximum amount of time as humanly possible, while your team tilts in the background by shouting about the Mercy. If you can hit shots like that and want to stall, you could take Mei. Yeah, Mei could also work. Feels bad, man. Let's talk about just Hollywood defense, just to sort of round out, just to, you know, bring it all back, just talk about standard Hollywood defense. So, first things first on Hollywood defense, like, let's go all the way to when this point was taken, when we made our catastrophically bad decision ourselves. First things first, our first priority should be to try and just understand that this point is gone, so this transition between second point and third point needs to be really, really crisp. When I say crisp, it means you've got to realize that the point is no longer being contested, you have no chance of doing it, and you have to try and regroup as quickly as you can, probably as far back as you can in the courtyard. Like literally where the trailer is, literally where the Widowmaker is, and literally where she's sort of running back now. Try and bait as many people out as possible and then capitalize on the back of it, get a kill or 2 off the back. If you can get anything like this, Winston is overcommitting, this is great value for us. Gives us an opportunity maybe to push back and sort of do a little. So now is when the pushback starts, because we basically are regrouped to 6, and so we can actually start fighting at the corner. First corner is usually where you start to see the push, where the team starts its defense. Not right on the corner, of course, because basically if we draw a schematic of how this looks down there, we got the L shape. Like these boxes here are sort of this area here, so these are the boxes. Got a pillar here, got a health pack here, and there's like this area here. Leading here, we are sort of stood up in this area right now. And it's basically like this sort of L shape. Goes on like this. Payload, of course, comes through here, and we've got a wall this side. We've got a nice quick schematic. Okay, how this area looks. There's here. And you get the idea. So normally when we're thinking about our defenses, it usually starts around here. Like this is where we're normally defending from. Because if you start going further forward, then the enemy team can sort of poke around this pillar a lot, get a lot of work done. The one thing you got to remember with this area as well is that when the payload is sort of creeping through here, this area, similar to sort of how Dorado works, if you remember when we were talking about Dorado, not yesterday, but the day before, this area gets extremely narrow. So this space down here starts getting very contested. That's actually a very good point to start engaging, because anyone trying to fight on the ground is going to get caught between the payload and between the terrain, so they don't have much space to move around, so it's very hard to dodge, so it's easy to get damage out, easy to get kills, so on, so on, so on, so on, so on. So that's where you normally see the first defenses really start to kick in there. When you start losing ground here, though, then it starts becoming a problem. Then you're going to fall even further back to where the 2 choke points are. And then it's basically like a repeat of how the first point works, but you actually have 3 doors instead of 2, but they're relatively close together. You have a couple of health packs to play around with. Your defensive area is relatively safe, so you can generally get away with quite a lot over there. So then you normally start falling back here. It's part of why, like, I don't like this decision as well, to go all the way back here. It does sort of end up working out because, hey, the Winston, like, ends up all the way back here, and then the Sombra completely fucks up her EMP and doesn't hit the Zenyatta, so Zenyatta just counters it. Widowmaker gets a shitload of kills. To me, this is an example of a bad Sombra push, where the ingredients are there, but the recipe isn't quite right. Like, they have a really good start with you pulling back. Reaper's dead. And then I don't get why Winston's following us. Maybe he's trying to get the pick on us, but honestly, if Sombra and Winston just went in together, Winston just lands on the team, it's like the easiest win in the world for them. And if Sombra gets the Zen, then it's just stupid value. Because Sombra versus Zenyatta is always hilarious. If you're playing Sombra, by the way, try and hit the Zenyatta. Because you just, the way it works is you EMP Zenyatta, you hold left mouse button for about half a second, Zenyatta's then dead and out of the fight completely. And then you can go and shoot whatever you like. Looks like the Reinhardt and Widowmaker somehow managed to clean up. Widowmaker, Mercy gets the world's worst resurrect. Trying to get dubious value, but hey. Then it goes from there. When we start getting into the second area, that's when sort of, this is when stalling starts becoming more and more important when we get to that outside area. So just a good overview of it. Go back to sort of about here. There we go. Not quite. But this outside area is where stalling and sort of long play starts to become more and more important, just because your spawn distance is relatively short. Their spawn distance is not only long, but the spawn path they've got to take is also very, very out in the open. So any defenses you're mounting here, you're just basically playing for time. Where the longer the fight goes, you have huge advantages when the fight starts going super long. Unless they have a Widowmaker of their own positioning over here, maybe an Ana, but usually it's just Widow. If they have that, then it can sort of start backfiring, because the Widow can just start, you know, raining fire down in this huge sightline she has. But if they're playing a more regular team, or more, you know, orthodox team, then you can just take your time with it. Play around the payload as much as possible. Use your spawn advantage to come in and defend that much longer. Try and drag out the fights. If you aren't able to win cleanly, then just make sure you're surviving as long as possible. Don't throw your life away. Just stall, 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 stall. Let people come back out and defend. And you'll find that you'll just win most of the time, just by virtue of reinforcing so much faster and then killing anyone who's trying to come back in. So, it's pretty good. Final point, Hollywood, usually extremely hard to take. Like, this is actually very, very difficult to break, because it kind of does work like a 2 control point map. That is, by its very nature, tricky. Okay, I think now's a good time to start taking questions. I think we'll just round this up as well, with just some individual advice for this specific player. I'd say in general, like, our play is pretty solid. I'd just say that we occasionally make some very dubious decisions. We sort of go a little bit too much for glory instead of going for what is practical or what is meaningfully useful. And sometimes these decisions will bite us in the ass. So examples would be the McCree sort of flank is just, to me, the most blatant example of like, hey, I'm going to get a huge Deadeye. No, you're never going to get a huge Deadeye from that position, and it's always going to end badly. I'd say in general, our target decision making is usually okay. Fire play seemed fine. Pharmacy play seemed fine. This is a difficult game to have gotten a huge judgment from it, but the reason why I picked it is because it sort of showed off all 3 areas of Hollywood. So,
one amongst the many.
Thank you for the donation, by the way.
YouTube smells like wet socks. Degrees.
Degrees, indeed. YouTube does smell like wet socks. I actually kind of agree with that. This was a difficult match to sort of get very specific in coaching, because it was sort of clear that one team was a lot more skilled than the other, basically. Enemy team started falling apart, had a lot of internal arguments. Your team had a Widowmaker that was more competent than the enemy team. You were playing extremely well and had sort of competent aim, competent basic mechanics at the very least, so there's definitely room to grow on there. But yeah, just be careful about your decision-making position as best you can with as much of the team as possible at times. And these ultimates will work even better now. So hey, McCree, feeling pretty good. I'd just say, like, I don't know. To me, it's a little bit of glory hounding, which will honestly hold you back. Apparently, Tim, the Tatman, also reacts to an Overwatch play of the game. Who knew? Who knew? Huge views, no doubt, on that. So I'll see you guys in part 3 for some questions. Right, good. Easy edit point for me. Let's find that.